I'd be sharing some of my interesting case scenarios. So when we talk about endothelial keratoplasty, we know that the indications for keratoplasty now, endothelial keratoplasty's share is almost around 40%. So if we consider DMEC and DSEC, simply if we see the mean best corrected visual acuity, DMEC is the clear winner. We can see 95% of the patients who scored 20/40 or better vision as compared to 43% in DSEC group, and 50% of the DMEC population had 20/25 or better vision as compared to 6% in the DSEC group. So clearly the DMEC is winner because of faster visual rehabilitation and no hyperopic shift, no induced visual distortions or higher order aberrations, and also lesser risk of graft rejection as compared to DSEC. But there are several instances wherein DMEC might not be the best option, or DMEC might simply not be possible. Like in this case, this is a failed graft and completely opaque with so much of vascularization. And in such case, wherein you have ACIOL and a very large peripheral iridotomy, and in some cases wherein there is aphakia and so much of loss of iris tissue, and another case with bullous keratopathy and a huge loss of iris here. So in all these instances, DMEC might not be possible or might not be a very good option. So I'm just sharing with you some of the interesting cases here. This lady, 60 years old, diabetic and hypertensive, pseudophakia in the other eye, and she had mild non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy. And this is the eye failed PKP, which was done for viral keratitis 3 years back. And she also was treated for the cystoid macular edema earlier. And this is her antersegment OCT. Clearly, we can see the very dense corneal edema of almost around 1600 microns here. So if we consider different options here, one can opt for either penetrating keratoplasty, but considering the risk factors, like she is also uncontrolled diabetic and hypertensive, and previous keratoplasty was done for herpetic keratitis, uh, PKP would definitely might not be a better option, and DMEC is not possible. So DSEC was the better option. So this is the video showing the surgery. So I have chosen to make the lenticule of 0.5 millimeter lesser, smaller, and inserted by a small incision of 6 millimeter. Now you see the visibility and so much of vascularization. It's almost superficial and deep vascularization, almost 360-degree here. So antechamber is formed, and now I'm securing the incision with the 10-0 nylon. And here I chose to just adjust or center the graft through the reverse Sinski rather than trying it, because visibility is very poor here. So 100% air fill is achieved here and left for around 10 minutes. And this is the picture at end of the surgery. Putting a bandage contact lens as unhealthy epithelium and all the tissue was removed. And this is 2 weeks post-operative picture. And she also had NPDR and DME, which was treated well. And this is the intersegment OCT picture. This is 1 month picture, and she regained 660 vision. Now you can see compact corneal stroma and lenticule. So at 3 months, you can see here the vascularization is completely regressed. So if we see the previous picture, one might not be thinking of doing a DSEC. Simply, we might simply think of doing a full penetrating keratoplasty. So vascularization has completely regressed. So probably this vascularization was more because of this spongy cornea. And this patient is following up very closely, and this is after 2 years, and she's maintaining 618 best corrected vision. This was another patient with aphakic bullous keratopathy and significant loss of iris tissue, and we can see bullae and hypertrophic epithelium over here. So this patient yeah. So this is the anterior segment OCT showing significant edema. And this patient I chose to do intrascleral haptic fixation, that is modified Yamane technique along with DSEC. So DMEC would not be simply possible or will be very difficult in such cases. So this is another patient with so much of superficial vascularization of the cornea and a large PI and an anterior chamber intraocular lens. So this is the pre-op anterior segment OCT showing diffuse edema and so much of loose epithelium. So this patient we chose to do SFIOL with DSEC, and she had best corrected visual acuity of 636 at 1 month, and she also was treated for cystoid macular edema. And 1 year later, her vision improved significantly, and she was almost reading 612. And this is the very nice thin and compact lenticule we can see. So this is one more interesting patient. So this is a patient who had undergone IOL removal. He had a post-cataract surgery patient who had a trauma, and then there was dislocation of the IOL. And via surgery, IOL removal, he almost roamed everywhere, and he got operated in somewhere, and they had planned and they had done pupilloplasty with modified Yamane technique of intraocular lens and DMEC. But unfortunately, DMEC failed after 1 month, and we can see the haptics and we can see multiple sutures over here. So doing pupilloplasty and DMEC might not be a good option in such cases when we have significant loss of iris tissue, because simply tamponade will not be adequate. So this patient I had to remove the DMEC membrane and then did a DSEC, and this is immediately after 1 month he started his best corrected visual acuity improved to 6.9. So all in all, DMEC might not be a very good option in all these cases, even though it is a gold standard. But sometimes DSEC comes in really handy in very difficult situations. Thank you.